Hi everybody, welcome back to the program. I am very fortunate to have these folks from Nicholls State going to talk about something that's going on pretty special. And I do want to emphasize, not necessarily in conjunction with the Colonels Athletic Association, because everybody's seeing Brandon right off the bat, so we're going to clarify all of that as we go. To my left is Brandon Ruttley, and I'm going to introduce him as a terrific basketball player at both Ellendale Memorial High School and at Nicholls State, a graduate way back in the 90s. To his left is Claire Barry Minto. A lot of you recognize Claire. She is the head coach over at H.L. Bourgeois High School for the girls basketball program, but Claire was a terrific basketball player at Nicholls State, and she is a graduate of Sulphur, so she represents the new millennium after the year 2000. And then to her left is Roddy Lerille. Roddy, you folks down Bayou Lafourche recognize, a terrific football player over at South Lafourche High School and a good football player for Nicholls State. These guys are all part of something that's going on, and it's going to be a big reunion that is actually going to happen in September sometime. And I'm going to let y'all go over the specifics. We'll start with you, Brandon. This thing, and we want to separate it, is not necessarily a CAA function. No. Talk a little bit about when, where, what's the specifics associated with this.
No, this is not a CAA function. This is just a function to bring back the old Colonels. We're finding out there's a lot more support than what we know about. And, Roddy Lerille's on the panel with us today, and he's been instrumental in kind of getting those older guys, and I don't mean that in a bad way, Roddy, but older guys back into the program. And last year we had around 160 or so people at this event. And this year we felt like we needed to, have something planned. So we have an event planned the night before the game at Envie at 7:30, and it's going to be $20 to get in, and we're going to have food and beverages for everyone. So we feel like if we kind of, we're getting it way far in advance, we're almost a whole month. We feel like we can get everyone from the area and even from further out to come back and just hang out and see what Nicholls is all about. There's a ton going on around the campus. I mean, we've done so many renovations. The campus, we had some guys last year that came back and said they didn't even recognize the place. So that's kind of, we just want people to come back, and it's still home to them, and we just want them to come and support us.
Well, for all you folks out there who may have ties to Nicholls State, we're going to archive this on the website, which is www.htv10.tv. So if any folks around the country that played at Nicholls at one time want to know about this, email them, tell them to go to the website, and they can actually see everything we're saying tonight so that they'll know exactly when things are going on. Claire, I got to tell you, when I go to baseball games, you're always there. If people don't know this, you actually are married to Tyler Minto, who finished there a couple of years ago. You are from Sulphur. Your dad was a graduate of Nicholls' first football team, was it? That
74.
Really? So you come back to Nicholls, play basketball, marry a guy from Alabama who you met at Nicholls State. So obviously Nicholls has a lot of things that are dear to your heart. We need to emphasize, this is not just for football players, right? This is something where you want anybody who participated in athletics over at Nicholls to come back, right?
That's right. We geared around football because it's such a big fan base, and Roddy Lerille helped us kickstart that. After I actually heard about it through my dad, who had been talking with Roddy Lerille, and then once my dad started talking about it, they started getting together, a big group, and hanging out, a bunch of alumni together, meeting in Lafayette, meeting at a game. It kind of got me excited, and I wanted to get together the basketball players. And I wanted to do it before everyone got too distant and out of touch with each other. So this is a great opportunity to try to get every sport back in and to go watch a football game.
Very
like
good.
Brandon said, go see how the campus has changed.
Good. And it's a very good way to get back, and I agree that probably going to a football game, especially on a Saturday when everybody could get back into town. Roddy, I heard these two say, this is your baby. This is something that you actually started. You had the genesis of the idea to get this going. Talk a little bit about why that happened, because and I told y'all at the break, I'm not an alumni of Nicholls, but things seem to be kind of steamrolling and stuff, and this is one of the things I hear about a lot, and everybody goes back to Roddy. It's like, yeah, Roddy started. I talked to David Miller the other day. Yeah, Roddy started this. Talk a little bit about how it all got started, or what y'all were thinking about, and then what happened last year and what y'all hope to improve on.
Well, it all started at a track meet in Baton Rouge for the indoor state championships for track. I ran into our old punter, David Fuhrer, who was a good punter at Nichols, now the head coach at Central Catholic in Morgan City, and he's really doing well there. And every time I run into guys, we need to get together. We need to get together, and now I guess that I am older, Brian. I am getting older. It means a lot more to me now than it did in the past. And I talked to David Fuhrer for about 20 minutes about we should get together and do something. So when I got back, I sent him an email, and we started chatting about it. And I had about 20 guys' emails that I played with. And I was able to get contact with them, and we had a meeting at Bubba's too on a Thursday night. We went out there and we met. We had Reed Perry, Bobby McDonald, Audie Hemel came, Greg Reynolds, JT. We had about 12 guys that showed up, and everybody was enthusiastic about doing it. So those guys were real helpful in getting this thing started too. And I said Reed Perry's name. I like to say that he will be inducted to the Hall of Fame weekend.
I actually didn't know that. Yeah, very good. A lot of folks obviously at Vanderbilt Catholic know who Reed Perry is. Well,
Reed was a good football. I was fortunate enough to be on the same high school team as Reed, and fortunate to be on the same college football team as Reed. He's well deserved of that honor. But
now, last year when you met, is it fair to say it was dominated with football a little bit, and that never was necessarily the intention, right?
We just wanted to bring back athletes, and then Claire got involved, and I talked to her dad, and he was like, well, you need to meet Claire, and you need to talk to Claire, and we need to get this whole thing together, and it really did. We really put it together, and we had a long span to put it. We started I think it was in March or something, started throwing around the idea. And we had that meeting, and then just sending out emails and contacting guys, and through Facebook contacting people. And that's the hard thing about it, is to find everybody. How do you find everybody? We've went to Nichols, unfortunately, with all the changes they've had in the past. A lot of the older records have been lost, So it was a real struggle to find everybody and get the word out. But we were really thankful that a lot of guys came out. I mean, surprising. We had a guy from Canada, Kenton Catfish Leonard. He's from Point Coupee High School. He played in the Canadian Football League. He flew in from Canada. We had guys come from Georgia.
So about how many last year?
About 160. I know that we come. They had more than that, but I can account for about 160 that signed in. And off the top of my head, after the reunion, we were like, man, I know this guy was here and that guy was here. Coach Greco who was the coach of my last 2 years there. His staff, almost his whole entire staff showed up. We had Coach Greg Colston, who was on Sonny Jackson's staff, came from Texas. He's a principal at a high school in Texas now. He showed up. Coach Sabatini, who was a defensive coordinator, he showed up he's coaching high school in Biloxi. We had guys that did some traveling to make it, so we were real excited after, and at the end of the day, everybody was coming up to everybody, and we need to do this next year, and we need to do that next year, So there was a lot of excitement about seeing. I saw some guys I haven't seen in 20 years.
Really?
And was able to catch up with them and laugh and.
Well, this is a deal where I'm sure if they wanted to join the CAA while they're there, y'all wouldn't have any problems with that. But once again, you said that y'all would meet on the 23rd. That's the Friday night before, where you'll have a social at ONV. And then for the football game, what exactly is going to be the procedure that day?
Well, that day the tailgate is going to start pretty early, around 10 or so, and Roddy and them might even get out there earlier than that. But then we'll also have the Hall of Fame induction ceremony at 11. And we have a couple inductees. It's Tommy Broom, he's with football. Of course, Reed Perry, he's with football. Darryl Abear, he's with baseball. Matthew Shelton, he's in men's soccer. And then Randy Raymond, he's a men's tennis coach.
Very good.
We're pretty excited about the class, and really once that's over with, it's tailgating until the game at 3. And, Northwestern State's one of our biggest rivals, so we'll be geared up and ready to go by then.
That's what I wanted to make sure to pass on to you, because I did not do it before the Kanata segment. It's against Northwestern State, so obviously a rival game that day, and let's hope that Nichols is off to a good start. We have to take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk more about this, but we also have Coach Stubbs talking at OnV yesterday, as I'm sure he's a supporter of everything that you guys are trying to do. We'll take a commercial break, come back with the folks from Nichols. We'll be right back after this.